Not everyone always has 3D. Sometimes we're starting from different types of 3D. Maybe it's a CAD file, maybe it's a different type of 3D model that you used for other type of CG purposes, or maybe it's just 2D photography with dimensions. So all of those are fine starting points. Again, all that 3D is going to get created. There are questions also asking about, well, how much configuration is too much? That's a very good question. Those is going to depend on the audience. We certainly don't want users to get what we might call configuration fatigue, where there's just so many options on screen that I get detoured and I no longer want to go through all those options. Right, am I clicking too many buttons? Is the experience forcing me to click next too many times? All things that would detract from the user experience. So again, we want to find what is going to be the right amount of configuration for your customers. We have different types of audiences using Threekit. We've got architects who need to configure down to every minute millimeter and have hundreds of different configuration inputs and spend hours on a configurator, whereas we have customers configuring very simple sofas or golf clubs, where again, we want to be configured as quickly as possible. So we want to limit that to just a few options. So again, we would work with you defining what are the actual roles, inputs. Again, I think I said earlier, the degree to which your products can potentially be configured is how we want to rationalize that down in Threekit and represent it with our configuration attributes. And I've said user experience a few times. All right, that's going to be the full integration. So actually presenting something on the front end on your website that we want to be representative of your brand and your products. Again, it doesn't have to be all of the products. Saw another question in there: does Threekit have to manage all of the products? No, absolutely not. With going back again to TaylorMade, we do all of one golf club for TaylorMade, and they've got very many others that don't have that much customization. But then there also is going to be the full integration that's required there. So things like your product catalog, what am I adding to shopping cart? There was a question of, if I'm not pre-creating the SKUs, how do I actually execute on an order? And yes, that's absolutely the challenge, right? Systems, especially ERPs, can be very rigid. They can be very demanding. They will want a very specific SKU in order to even process an order. They will want a very specific bill of materials in order to even process that order. But via that configuration, we can create a SKU, we can create a bill of materials. Again, the idea is to not detract from our user experience. We want our customers, again, to be able to configure essentially to their heart's content. Again, always representative of how your products can actually be physically sold in the real world. And then we want to dynamically create or push that configuration into, again, your shopping cart or your ERP, or is it just a download and I'm downloading a quote PDF and I want to actually work with the sales team now. So from that standpoint, this is typically what goes into a project. Depending on how many products you actually have is what's going to govern the timeline there. But these three kind of pillars are always involved, and we can see the different types of folks that we would typically want to get involved with these projects as well. Folks from product, folks from marketing, folks from the web team. Everyone is going to play a part in any Threekit project.